Hey, Chris with Patch here. I'm just talking to Marietta Mayor Josh Schlicher. How you doing today?
Good, real good.
All right. So we got a big week. Back
Yeah.
to school.
Back to school, yeah. Yeah, it's early this year. Going back on Wednesday. We have three main projects that we wanted to get done before school went back. One is playground at Washington. We're a few weeks behind on that just due to various circumstances, but it's we see the end in sight. So
Okay.
yeah, it's all coming together. So the big equipment's going to be moved over. That's what we have left to do. A little bit of cleanup that the city's going to be doing. The big fence project, that'll be later, and then we have the city is also doing lighting updates. So we're going to come back in and do that.
Okay.
There's just by the time we got it engineered and items ordered and stuff, there's too much lead time on that it just didn't work out for us. But
Right.
all that's in the works, so we're hoping to get that wrapped up here pretty soon. The intersection 5th and Washington Street, that signal, the old signals will be coming down, I'm told Wednesday of this week,
Okay.
if not sooner. And that's the last intersection in Marietta that is non-conforming to any federal standards.
Oh, really?
So the new standards are in place, the big mass arm, the ped heads, all the push buttons and all that. So, yeah, that's our last ancient intersection that will be
Alright.
no longer. And what the equipment that's in use there is like 1960s vintage, so
Yeah.
it's long overdue. And it'll be hopefully much safer for our children, pedestrians, the neighborhood, and yeah, just be an updated intersection. So that should be done. They finished up the 7th Street corridor for safe routes to school. We're going to pave that road probably next year, but for now, yeah, that's finished up. And
It's brick now, right?
it's, well, 7th Street's asphalt, yeah, so
Oh.
that'll be repaved.
Okay.
Yeah, 5th Street in Washington, well, 5th is brick and Washington's asphalt, but we don't have any plans to do that anytime soon. But 7th Street will probably get paved next year. And then we opened up the sidewalk. We poured some concrete, got the area down at 7th and Putnam Street, got that stabilized. We pulled the fence back, so now pedestrians can use the sidewalk, which was pretty unsafe before. But we still have plans to get in there and get that whole area cleaned up and make it safe and attractive. Just getting the funding in place and the time to do it and everything else has been kind of a challenge. But we wanted to have it done already this summer. We just haven't got there yet, but that's in the works.
Okay. Cool. So we also have, you said setting up a community involvement board with the police.
Right, yeah, we're gonna go to the city council to set up a police advisory committee and or advisory board of sorts, and that will be made up of several members of the community. And
How big do you want this board to be?
well, you get a board that's too large and sometimes it gets bogged down.
Sure.
Probably an ideal number would be kind of want an odd number, that way if you vote, you want to not have an even
Yeah, that
number
makes
to
sense.
split. But
Yeah.
probably between 7 and 9 would probably be a good number.
Okay.
Similar to like our traffic commission, there's 9 members on that. Or I'm
Okay.
sorry, the tree commission. And that is going to be different ages, different well, male and female mix, different ages, different experience. Some law enforcement, some just community members, some maybe that have had some issues with the police in the past, or not issues, but have gone through the law or the criminal side. That can give us some details of their experiences, and they have been reformed. So what could we do better, to treat people fair? In Marietta, we don't have a lot of civil rights violations. We have, we just have a duty to the public that we are going to serve them and serve them with high standards. And there's industry standards across the country. Some, apply to major metropolitan departments or jurisdictions that are far larger and more diverse than Marietta, Ohio. So
we're gonna try to like look at how other places have done it and try to perhaps model after.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some smaller areas and counties that have done this,
Okay.
and so we can use those as models. Because there's not, with some policies and procedures in law enforcement, there's not just like everything else, there's not a one-size-fits-all
Sure.
program. So this committee is going to be a advisory committee. There won't be any authority to make decisions, but they will advise, and then we will take their studies and their meetings and whatever action that they take at those meetings, and we can use those for possible improvements and changes within the department. And we think it'll be just a good way for the public to be involved. And when you have departments that are sometimes operated for a long time under certain command staff, they get kind of tunnel vision. They don't see a lot of different perspectives. So we want that from the public to give us a different perspective and just a different outlook and a different way of doing things.
Okay, cool. And also we had sewer settlement. You said you're going with the Water and Sewer Commission today to talk about that.
Right. Yeah, we got to present that to council.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we.
what happened again? Just real quick. So Washington County had been you sued them, correct?
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. The lawsuit's currently in place. Once this is settled officially, then we'll drop the lawsuit. But yeah, over the years, the prior county commission, just refused to abide by the 40-year intergovernmental agreement the county had with the city.
Okay.
And so we incurred costs over the years that due to their failure to act, we've invested in a lot of our infrastructure. We've rebuilt the wastewater treatment plant, rebuilt lift stations, put in new lines. So we incurred a lot of cost. So what we're doing is we're trying to correct that they never did. Yeah.
Right.
So now we're going back and we're going to settle in good terms and start a new 40-year agreement. This is going to be for Devola only. So before it was Devola and Oak Grove and parts of Reno. We're not talking about anything other than Devola. Oak Grove right now is not being considered. If the EPA someday mandates the connection of Oak Grove, then we are going to be in a position that we can accommodate that flow if that's how it comes down.
Right.
But only if it's mandated. But we have some other interest with the county commissioners right now. We want to do a line going up Route 7 from about where Dimex is on up north on Route 7, which will be about another 1.5 miles of line. That also would not be mandatory hookup. It'll be in place if the residents up there, business owners, or future business, we want to connect into that system. There's possibilities up 821 over into Devola. So any area where there's going to be growth and development, we want to be the receivers of that sewage flow from those areas. So this whole agreement is just hopefully going to be a restart to good things happening for Marietta and Washington County, and we'll get the new agreement in place, and then move forward with our obligations, and the county commissioners are going to continue with their obligations to see by the end of 2023 that Devola is sewered, and we'll start receiving that extra flow from them.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Sounds like it's a move in the right direction.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time, and we're really glad, and appreciate everybody coming to the table and putting past feelings and issues behind them and moving forward. So yeah, Friday was a good day for both of us and the county. And the county, I'll tell you, they're really working hard to find as much outside funding as possible. You know, a lot of the talk was, well, you know, the burden of this whole project is going to be on the property owners in DeVola. You know, they're going to have to fork out a bunch of money. And that's not going to be the case. They're going after as much outside funding as possible. Right now, there's a lot of money out there for water and sewer projects with the American Rescue Plan.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they can really capture a lot of that extra money right now and really provide the residents of DeVola a state-of-the-art system that is not a financial burden to anybody out there. I'm sure there's going to be some cost, but when you look at what it costs to maintain or replace a failing septic system versus what they can pay to join on the system, I think they'll soon realize that it's a benefit to them to do that, especially if they can really offset the cost for them.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much all I had, except you know, when the traffic upgrades are going to happen. You said that there's still some time.
Yeah. We're not, as far as I know, we're not 100% online with everything. There's still a lot of programming things need done.
Sure.
As anyone that drives Green Street, they still know it's a disaster. So.
But you're going to know ahead of time when they're going to flip that switch and just fix it all, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. There should be a time where it'll be working. There'll still be things that need to be switched. And I plan to be out there. I probably won't be out with the engineers telling them what to do. But we're definitely taking input that I'm receiving from the public and saying, here's what this needs to be changed or whatever. And I plan on being out there in real life to see how it's working and how it's not.
Right.
Because that's a huge issue right now, and I get complaints all the time, just the traffic flow or lack of traffic flow out Green Street, Route 7 North. And our goal is all along to smooth that up and get that as efficient as possible, and be safe too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the conclusion of that project. And that's the first phase, and the second phase will be next year, which will include a lot of additional items, cameras, preemptive equipment for police and fire possibly, and just a mixture of things that really don't have anything to do with the flow of traffic. It's just you know, ancillary extra items that can be used. So yeah, a lot of good things happening.
Excellent. Well, that's all I have. That's all I have for this week, I think.
All right.
If there's anything else you think people should know about, or you know.
Tomorrow the boat's coming in tomorrow. The Queen of the Mississippi. So yeah, if they want to come down to the levee, they're due in at 2:30, and they'll be leaving about 9:30, and then they'll be back on Saturday.
What time did you say they're pulling in? 2:30?
2:30 to 9:30 tomorrow, tomorrow, and then they'll be back on Saturday.
All right. Excellent.
So,
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Take care.